Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Center on the Hill. I'm here with Mary Angela, and
Hello.
we're going to go over these maps. I go over every month, the 4 different weeks, the 4 different maps. So I thought maybe today I would just briefly go over the map because I know that it can take us 2 hours to go over a map. So let me just go through the basics. So the beginning is just the definition of diabetes. I don't know if you can see this in the last corner here, but basically everybody has diabetes differently. So everyone's diabetes is their own and they're in charge of it. So talk to your doctor as you are in charge. They might tell you how diabetes works, but some people can drink juice in the morning. Some people can't even have a piece of bread. I mean, their sugar just flies around. So it really depends. And you're in the driver's seat, and everyone who has diabetes, the way we know we have diabetes is our blood sugar is elevated. We have too much sugar in our blood, and it causes some problems. So that's why, we're taking this very seriously. On this one map, it's from 2013 or something. It says there's no U-turn. Just so you know, there's been many situations where people who have had pre-diabetes have been able to revert back to no diabetes at all. And same thing with people who have had diabetes. Usually it's within the first 5 or 7 years that they can revert back to having no diabetes at all. It has to do with diet and lifestyle change, as you probably imagine. But there is definitely a chance that you could turn it around. Then there's a whole bunch of, over here, you can't really see, is the myths and the truths. And there's a lot of myths. So we can go, that was one class one day. We took 2 hours about the myths and the truths. But the truth is, it's hard to control. You can have sweets, but it is going to become the carb of the meal. And with every meal, you're going to have a protein, a carb, and the two together is the same volume of the vegetables. So when you have 2 cups of vegetables with a cup of chicken and a cup of rice, that's fine. However, I will just tell you, most people, a cup of rice is a lot. So your portion size is going to be smaller. You're not going to have 4 cups for a whole meal. Maybe it's just a breakfast. You're going to have a quarter cup of each, something like that. When you're thinking about spinach and eggs with a little toast, that kind of thing. So as we move around, this section here is a man unloading luggage from his the back of his car. There's a lot of feelings that go in with diabetes. It should be hope and strength and determination and consistency. And this is better than being allergic to peanuts. So I don't know how to describe it any better than that. But one part of the luggage is guilt, and you should not feel guilt. The way that we get diabetes 95% of the time is from genetics. So don't feel, oh, I ate too much candy when I was little. No, if anything, you ate too much meat. And I don't know anybody who's been able to have steak 7 times a week. So, however, there have been many cases where, celebrities or that type of thing, they got wealthy quick and converted to an all meat diet, and what do you know, they got diabetes, had a stroke, and died. It's really bad. So we're going to be balancing our meat with protein and carbs. As it comes around, this section here is about your body, and the high blood sugar is in the middle. We have the pancreas that gives you the insulin, but it also gives you glycogen, so it can trigger your muscles to give your body sugar when you're hungry. So you have the pancreas, you have your muscles, again, that can give you sugar. Your liver, also, when you're sleeping and your blood sugar goes down, your liver will kick it back up. Metformin is the medicine that calms that down, so your liver doesn't give too much. And then we have our brain, which is signaling either we're hungry or we've had some sweets, so we know more sweets are coming. This is how artificial sugar can cause you to gain weight. And then our kidneys, when we eat a lot of carbohydrates, we get a lot of sugar in our blood, it goes into our urine and we can pee it out. So our kidneys are a big part. And then our body fat. When you lose weight, you're going to increase your body sugar. It's unusual if you got to lose weight fast, but just to know that if you're starving or you're in a marathon, you get more carbohydrates from your fat. And it is actually a more effective way than getting it by food. So watch out for that body fat. And then our intestines. Our intestines has a lot of hormones. And all of these 8 parts that I've told you about, including the A cells and the B cells in the pancreas, they are triggered by different medications. We can go that in another way. As we come down here, It says things that can trigger your high blood sugar, and it talks about food, you know, the carbohydrates. The vegetables and the protein don't do hardly anything. So it's really just the starches, the starchy vegetables, the grains, that kind of thing, raise your blood sugar. Illness, if you have a toothache or you twisted your ankle, you have a runny nose, your blood sugar is up. In the hospital, in the ICUs, people are given insulin even if they aren't having diabetes. So insulin is a big deal. Insulin, so you know, is an enzyme that opens up your cells. So all that sugar in your veins can finally get into your cells. If you don't have insulin, the cells stay closed and the sugar stays in your veins and it increases. So we want to make sure that our pancreas is giving us enough insulin. If you're type 1, you don't have any B cells, you don't have any insulin, you always have to shoot yourself, you know, with a pump or whatever it is. So activity can reduce our blood sugar. Stress, of course, increases it. Alcohol increases it because alcohol is a toxin. And when you ingest a toxin, your body gets stressed and then your sugar goes up. It's also the mixers. If you're going to have a rum and Coke, maybe the Diet Coke, alternate your drinks with your water, and don't even start drinking until you've had a meal. That will make a big difference. And then medications. Yeah, there's certain medications, cold medicines, that can increase your blood sugar. So we've got to watch out for that. Oh, some of the sweeter medicines, like, well, anyway, you're not having all those. You can have high blood sugar. Over here, this is a bus, and on one side is a high blood sugar, and the other side is low blood sugar, and it gives you the symptoms of that. Both of them can cause weakness and shakiness and hunger. You can have high blood sugar and feel hungry. Have some water. You're going to be really thirsty anyway if you have high blood sugar. Some people with high blood sugar will have some blurriness in their vision. They'll have prickling in their feet. It also causes your stomach to slow down. So you've got all that stomach full of food, you got high blood sugar, and then your stomach quits on you. It's pretty tough. So have smaller meals, keep your fluids going, that kind of thing. Low blood sugar, you only want to have 15 grams of carbs in for 15 minutes. So it's a 15-15 rule. So when you are feeling you have low blood sugar, your brain is going to kind of quit on you. You got to somehow remember to look at your watch or what time it is. Have your 15 grams, which would be a half a cup of juice or soda, some candy, whatever. Not very much. Wait 15 minutes, see how you feel. Don't ever want to have low blood sugar. It's really hard to come back from. It messes you up your whole day. As you're coming up here, it says take a break. Take a look before you go driving or exercising. Check your blood sugar beforehand. You don't want to have a low while you're driving or you're exercising. That could be a real problem. Here is a farmer's market, and it shows the food groups, and it talks about having you know, vegetables with your protein, with your carbs, eating when you first wake up within 2 hours, have something midday, have something at night, like 2 or 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed. If you eat dinner at 5 and you're not going to bed till midnight, you might need a snack in there. You want to eat every 4 to 6 hours. And then coming down here, they want you to keep active. They show somebody in a Jeep, somebody in a wheelchair going on the sidewalk, you know, on trails. They have somebody doing yard work. There's jogging, you know, just going around the block now. The New Jersey mayor or governor was talking about all the knuckleheads out there. And he said, oh yeah, not so many knuckleheads nowadays. It's been a good day. So he's pretty funny. But he's talking about wearing a mask when you're outside, even though you think the wind is blowing everything around. It's really important to keep all your bugs, your germs, your breath in with you. So even though you're riding a bike or jogging, I know it's really hard, get a breathable mask so that you can keep most of the air around your own face. We wear a mask to protect others. So if you're not going to wear a mask, everybody's thinking you're dissing them. So wear a mask. You can get them all over. Even CVS has them for like $1.90, something. It's cheap. Diabetes medicine, we can go over that another map, and there are 8 different ways that these medicines work, not just on the food you eat or your stomach or that kind of thing. And then remember to eat healthy, keep active, take your medicines, go for your goal. We want to keep our blood sugar below 7 if you're under 60 years old. If you're over 60-year-old, 7.5 is fine. And know that, you know, all your medical team, your dentist, your regular doctor, your endocrinologist, your eye doctor, your foot doctor, your heart doctor. If you have a wound that isn't healing, the dermatologist, have these guys all be on your team and along with your family, and get as much support as you can get. But it was great to see everybody. I know that was a mile a minute. And you can see now how it takes a while when you talk about it in class. What is it? 10, 15 minutes? I'm not sure.
You did. I feel like I've been around the world of diabetes and back again. That's great. I do have some questions. So, you know, it is a challenge, and I am included in being outdoors with a mask because I have like some breath problems, and then I start feeling like I'm suffocating or I overheat, and then that triggers like an MS episode, and it's never good. And so I've been in search of ways to sort of keep physically active even in my home, you know, like, so if I can't, you know, necessarily go out all the time or for a long time, because I know activity is so important. And I just wanted to share a little bit that I've, you know, been posting some workouts and things you can do from home, but honestly, don't underestimate the value of just sweeping, because boy, did I break a sweat and feel pretty great just running my broom and my vacuum around the house. Like, that is definitely a way to do it. And if you have a yard, if you have, you know, an area that's specifically yours, that's a good way, I know, as well, to get fresh air without having to mask up. Because I do know we have some people at the center as well that have, you know, COPD and have like a lot of, you know, sort of issues, asthma issues around breathing. So, but I don't want them to think that that's a reason to not stay active, you know, like to forego the activity. Because I can see that the active part of your map is, you know, the activity part is pretty big over there. It's, you know, it's a whole cul-de-sac. It's like, here are all these things that you should be doing. So clearly it's very important. So we want to definitely stay active. But I guess, you know, my question is, you know, beyond getting out and walking, just some ideas of physical activity that are good to keep you active.
I have found YouTube has been glorious. The first couple weeks of the coronavirus, it was all like pump you up and nasty with. No, now there's music. There's little 10-minute segments of just, okay, let's do your shoulders, or let's do your abs, or let's do your legs. So YouTube is wonderful, and it's a lot better than it was. There's some funny ones. Planet Fitness had Jerry O'Connell with his kids out there doing jumping jacks. And it's fun to watch, but if you do the jumping jacks too, this thing was close to a half an hour, and I was waiting. Dog comes on the side, knocks over his one kid. It was hilarious. But I agree with you about the breathing, and even when I'm in the grocery store. So if you have a silk scarf, you know, you can double it up and fold it, and then you put these little rubber bands on. These rubber bands I happen to get from buying asparagus. And you put the rubber bands behind your ears, and then you're it's a much lighter, so you can breathe through it, and then you can tie it at the bottom, and then like I said, it's thinner, it keeps your breath with you. You can breathe fast, and you know, if nobody's around, you can take a breath. But those other ones, those medical ones, I find the same. It's like sticks in my mouth, or I just can't get a good breath. And when, you know, sometimes you're in these stores because you have a half an hour outside in line with people, and then you're in the store with the people, and then you got to wait in line to get out of. You could be wearing this thing for over an hour and a half, and if you can't breathe really well, look at doing something like this. Like I said, you can breathe through it really fast. It's got so many layers that it will it will track a lot. Because this is a square, you know, that I just made. So what do you think?
That's perfect. Thank you. That's exactly what I need. I'm going to go looking for a silk scarf now, because that's it. I mean, I was stuck in a Target a week or two ago when I had to go. That was it. I was outside for like 45 minutes, and we were still 6 feet apart, but I had the mask on, and then I was in there, and by, you know, minute 10, I'm like, I got to get out of here. Like, this is not going to be okay. So that's great. Thank you for that. And that demonstration, that's really awesome. I know hair ties, if anybody uses hair ties, they work too, instead of rubber bands. You know, like the ponytail holders, same thing. They just go behind your ear.
And my husband used one of those climbing clips, you know, you put on your backpack to hold your keys or whatever, and he would put the 2 headbands like behind his neck so that it would stay up on his face and not pull his ears all the time. That really helped.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
great.
because that's not comfy with your ears like that.
It's true. It's true. Well, thank you, Kirsten, so much. This is great. So next week, another map?
Yep, we'll see you next week, and we'll talk about blood sugar.
Great. Thanks again. Take care,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.